I was born in Israel, and I spent my early childhood being shuttled back and forth between the United States and Israel. And during the period between ages 3 and 5, we were living in Rehovot, which is where I was born. And by the time I was 5 years old, I was able to read Hebrew fluently. But the next year, we moved to Romeoville, Illinois, where I went to first grade, and I did not speak any English when I started, so I had to learn how to speak English and to read and write it all at once. And that was my total immersion experience that led to the writing of Ping and the Snarkily People many years later. But in any event, I always liked reading, and I liked writing even more. And starting in first grade, I started to write creatively. So I went to second grade in Seattle, Washington, and then third grade, it was back to Rehovot, Israel. And by that time, I had not been reading in Hebrew for 2 years. So my grandfather, who was the rector of the University of Tel Aviv, was called in to make sure that I was ready for third grade. And so he presented me with the Bible, and he took out his trusty pointer, and he pointed at the words, and I read to him. And everything went swimmingly until we came to this one word where he corrected me. He said, "No, that's Adonai." And I said, "But it doesn't say Adonai." And he said, "Never mind, you just read that as Adonai." And I said, "That can't be right. That's not what it says." And he said, "But that's what you're supposed to say." And I said, if they wanted me to say that, they should have written that. That's not what this says. And we got into a big argument. And finally he said, "You know what? Never mind all that. When I point at this word, you don't have to say anything. You just be silent." And we proceeded with our reading. But that pretty much sets the tone to the rest of my biblical scholarship throughout my life.